Hi, I'm Viveka. I'm a scientist by training, but an entrepreneur by passion, by whatever I do and everything. I've been listed as one of the top 100 women in technology in Singapore. I'm a very passionate person when it comes to innovation and also women empowerment. These are two things that really, excites me, passionate about. So that's me. Yeah. So for me, I think growing up, I think for any child, it's also about how you were brought up and what made you take a particular path, right? So for me, growing up, my parents are doctors. So for me, I was naturally interested in biology and sciences because I grew up in that system. And because my parents had their own hospital, for me, okay, I thought, oh, if you have your own anything, then you can be your own boss. So that one is the one that motivated to be an entrepreneur. So I thought, I don't have to ask anyone for leave or permission. I can take my own leave, something like that growing up. But then when I actually grew up more seriously, I like being responsible for people. So, for example, when uh, I give a job for someone, I'm responsible for that person and their family. So that kind of responsibility is something that I really like. So that is also one thing, and more coming more closer to being an innovator, right? So since I'm very good in studies, I did a PhD and all that. But for me, I have that I have a very good publication in Nature and all that. But for me, people, Nature, I think very elite people, academic circle will read the article. But what will take me more closer to the common man is when my innovation or my invention is being used, it saves someone's lives, or it can even be an e-commerce platform, but it has to impact someone in real life. So that is what gives me real joy and real purpose in life. So that's what started as you can be your own boss kind of an attitude, but moving forward, I just want to make good use of my technical skills. So I just chose the journey to become a technopreneur, where I try to commercialize my own invention. Sometimes it doesn't have to be my own invention. I have also been in roles where I look at other people's invention and see how I can commercialize them. It's just looking at what value it can give for the common man per se. Yeah. So that's my motivation, to have real impact on real people. So that is it. For me, okay, one thing, yes, as you rightly said, if you look at my profile, my bachelor's is in biotechnology, and then now I'm in manufacturing. I have a PhD in material science. So it is everywhere. I call myself a tech agnostic innovator, which means that I really don't care about what the technology is. What I care about is how impactful the technology is. It can be biotechnology, it can be agri technology, it can be manufacturing, semiconductor. The advantage is that I have a PhD, so I can understand the technology better. And also, because someone talks about biotechnology, I can understand because my undergrad is in that. Someone talks about material science, I can understand because my PhD in that. So for me, technology doesn't matter, the impact really matters. And to bridge the gap between academia and industry, right, I think that one happened to me very organically, because I have a PhD, and then I have a postdoc where I developed this medical device. And I was also did entrepreneurship because I was commercializing my medical device. And then I moved into a corporate position, which was between academia and industry. And now I'm full time in industry. So the change did not happen suddenly. I'm very fortunate that it happened very organically. Yeah. Yeah, actually, well, right. I was going to say that sustainability is an angle that people have started focusing these days. For example, when I was doing medical device, I think any medical device is a tech for good already, because you're trying to save a life or you're trying to diagnose or monitoring. So, in my opinion, medical tech or med tech ecosystem, it's anything you do is a tech for good already, because for the kind of impact that it's having. Now that I'm in the manufacturing and the semiconductor sector, for example, semiconductor industry is known to be aggressively environmentally polluting. Now after COVID, more and more chips are in demand, so you have to increase the demand and produce more, which means you're again, spoiling the environment even more. So in the past, 6 or 7 years, there are a lot of startups and innovations coming in this field. People started talking about zero carbon footprint, zero emission, 2050 protocol. So people are being mindful, and it's I because I'm also with a large corporate now, including my own company, the large corporate that I'm with. Everyone is also mindful that they reuse the chemicals that they use, and they don't emit a lot into the ecosystem, a lot of gas into the ecosystem. But this, the company itself cannot do, because they're traditionally big manufacturing company which are doing the same thing again and again. And that is when innovations and startups from outside is coming, and they are like, okay, how can I help you recycle your chemical? Yeah, tech for good is happening all around the world, and good investors are nowadays. Investors are also not only looking at profit, but they're also looking at the sustainability angle in the innovation. So we are heading in a really good yeah. Yeah, sure. I think this might sound very cliched, but to be very honest, if you ask me to say one thing, I would say dream. I would say the same thing to my daughter. You have to dream, and dreams do come true. Whatever you want to become, just imagine that you are that. You are that powerful person. You are that celebrity person. You are that, impactful person. Whatever you want to be, just dream about it every single day. And for me, that is what I did. I still think I have a long way to go. I need to achieve a lot, but I think I'm every day I'm being the dreamer and trying to grab all the opportunity around me to fulfill my dreams. So that is what I would say. And as you actually rightly said, PhD can be very monotonous, very the 5 years you're stuck with one problem. So it's nice to have a dream and work towards that, apart from solving one particular problem statement. Yeah, so need to dream and grab opportunities. So that is it. Yeah.